I
Yeah.
am originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll get into that. We'll
Mhm.
peel back all the layers.
Yeah.
It's great to meet you, and I want to
Okay.
begin our conversation with we look at the calendar now. 4 years ago, everything stopped. The pandemic began. How did you get through that time period, and how did it change you?
Oh man, that's a great question. So literally when the pandemic hit, let's see, probably it started to feel the effect, the real true impact of that around March of 2020. I actually was in a transition with my business. The Inspirational Beauty Boss is a platform, it's a name because I'm in the beauty industry, but I
Yeah.
also believe in inspiring and sprinkling that fairy, that pixie dust, inspiring people. But I was in a transition with my business, and I was also in a transition with a relationship that was ending. And most importantly, the world was shutting down, right? And being in the beauty industry, I was actually in South Carolina at the time. And our governor said, the beauty industry, everything needs to shut down. And so that was the first time, of course, for a lot of people in history, we closed. And for 7 weeks, we were closed. And I found myself in the midst of being super busy and all of a sudden having nothing to do. And that actually opened up the platform for me to start doing more speaking, getting online, things like that. So that was a huge transition for me. I actually kind of feel like it's like for me, the world seemed to stop and all the busyness of life. I didn't have to focus on all of that. And it was a break for me. So
Yeah.
that was huge. That was a
Yeah.
break. And I still kind of feel like even today, I'm still kind of stuck in that break. I'm still doing things, but there's still a little bit of lethargy from that because I got comfortable
Yeah.
in, hey, I don't have to work so hard and do so much. So that was a huge change for me. And I'm still navigating that.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, there's so many things you're juggling. You're an author, entrepreneur, mentor, TV talk, radio podcasting, and beauty. But I'm curious if I put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day and one of the kids said, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
Ooh, I would tell them that I help to make people see the good and the beauty inside of them, regardless of who they are or where they from. And I help them take what they love and turn it into something that helps other people. You think a
What did
third grader could understand that?
Yeah, totally they would. Yeah. And I think these third graders are more savvy than we give them credit for. So, what did you want to be?
Absolutely.
What was your dream when you were in the third
Oh
grade?
man. um, And so when I was in the 3rd grade, I wanted to be a vet, and I remember
Okay.
that in particular because from 3rd grade on through high school, I actually got an internship and an opportunity to work at a veterinarian's office in maybe it was probably around middle school, 9th grade actually, and I worked as an internship, and that's when I decided, "Yeah, I don't wanna do this," and then I decided I wanted to be in the legal field, and I wanted to be a paralegal, and that continued to change and evolve into medical studies and all sorts of things. And that's when I realized I'm just good at entrepreneurship. I'm good at finding solutions and just seeing the whole in the bigger picture.
But you had to do all of those things to whittle down what you needed to make you happy, right?
Yes, absolutely. And mine is probably I had to whittle down those things to decide on what I wanted to do and make me happy. And really seeing other people happy makes me happy. And I found my purpose in going through a lot of the not so great, the messy things in life. So, sort of turning pain into purpose. And really, that's how I really whittled down the things that I wanted out of life because I realized I found joy in helping other people that were dealing with some of the same things that I was dealing with.
What did you see at the vet that made you think, I can't do this?
When the vet
Hmm.
when the vet showed me that we had to go up an animal's rear end to clean, and, I just wasn't about that life.
Yeah, yeah. There's things that, yeah, yeah, you gotta bow out. I get it. So,
Yeah.
you had mentioned St. Louis. I wanna go back to your childhood, and you obviously have a lot of motivation in your life. How did these seeds of all of these things in the media, getting into the beauty industry, how did all of this grow into who you are today?
Oh man. So again, it's just all my story, literally from my childhood on through now. I overcame some obstacles in my childhood. That's where the title, the inspirational, comes from and ties into the beauty, just overcoming a dysfunctional childhood, growing up in a home that where I had a two-parent household, I had a father there, but he wasn't there. And so that led me down a path of looking for love in the wrong places. And I had to evolve and go and grow through some things. And just really learning from those lessons and growing in those areas and those avenues and just finding a passion again and just seeing that what I dealt with was something that people, we go through life and we just kind of you truck through and you're either a survivor or a overcomer or it just takes you out. And when you survive or you overcome something, you just truck through and you think, well, I just did what I needed to do. But when other people see that and you see that it gives them a passion or some light or something comes on in them this aha moment, and so that's how I evolved into who I am, just the inspirational beauty boss, working in that platform of beauty and just helping people find their purpose in their pain and sharing my story.
So you obviously needed to have good people around you. Who was a hero, an inspiration for you?
My faith is a huge staple for me, but my friends, my faith, number one, helped me walk through this. My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I'm huge on that. But friends, I one of the areas in my life that I do not lack in, and I find that really shocking each time, is finding that people don't have true friendship. It's really hard for people to really find connection and friendship. And with everything I've gone through, the one area of my life I have not lacked in friendship. I am surrounded by a huge village, tons of people. And I would have to say, one friend comes to mind right now. Her name is Amira. I'm going to give her a shout out. She's just that friend that she has accepted me through all of the good, the bad, the flaws, the up and down. And she's one of those people that she will not allow me to quit. There's times and days that I want to. And she's just one of those friends that's like, nope, you're not giving up. You're not going to do this.
So if you can meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find fascinating, who would that be? Who would you love to meet?
Oh man, who would I love to meet that's alive?
We can do both. Let's
That's a
open
good
the door. We can open the door up to the ghosts.
Well, I already said it with my faith, it would be Jesus Christ. I would
Okay.
love to sit and break bread with him.
Yep.
But one per honestly, I do have an answer. And I have those people in my life today. There's two people that I would love to sit with, and I do, but I don't often get to pick their brains as much as I want. It honestly would be my
Yeah.
children, because they have helped to shape me into being the woman, the mother, the person that I am. And they're both young adults now. And we've all gone through a lot in this walk of life. And I think my kids, they're evolving into learning to see me they're evolving into learning to see me as a real human being and not just their mother. And so having that conversation with them now is so different than what it looked like in that aspect.
So you get to give people good advice. You have stories and you're helping people. What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
The best advice that I've gotten is my mind immediately goes to when I was pregnant with my second child, my son, and I hadn't planned the pregnancy and I was battling a really tough bout of depression, just really beating myself up, really saying, oh, this wasn't in this plan for you. This is what you have for your life. And I had one person come to me and she said to me so simply, she said, you can't change it. He's on the way. So you got to get up out of this and you got to keep going. And so that phrase keep going has always stuck with me. And it really changed my whole paradigm because I really was spiraling. And she just so simply put it doesn't matter what people think, the gossip, the conversation. As a single mother, she simply said, "You can't change it."
Yeah.
And that was a situation I couldn't change, and she was right.
So every day you wake up, what's your inspiration to do all these things you do? What is the ultimate motivator?
The ultimate moment is I know that people again where the inspiration comes from. I do it for myself. I'm learning to do it for myself, but I know at the end of the day that there is someone somewhere out there listening, watching, looking, and they're ready to give up. They're ready to throw in the towel. They may be ready to just end it all. And hearing something that I say is motivating factor enough because I've been in that space and that place before.
What's the best fan letter you've ever gotten from somebody?
Oh man, I get text and fan letters. I will okay, yeah. The best thing I've ever got, I had to think and let it run through my mind, was just to what we were talking about. If somebody is out there thinking about giving up, I remember getting a text message one day that from a complete and total stranger in another country, and they said, "Listen, I watched something that you put on social media. I was about to give up. I was about to take my life, and what you said really kept me going, and I took the steps of what you shared with your life and in your story, and I was able to break free of what I was going through, and I got into launching my own business, and I'm in a better place." And so that was a huge, you know, plus a huge just like it warmed my heart and it was like, okay, there's purpose in what I'm doing and people are really out here listening and really looking for someone to say that's tangible and relatable.
So if you have a dream tonight, you run into the 18-year-old version of you, you can give that young version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life. What advice would you give that young version of you?
It gets better.
There
It
you go.
gets better. Yeah. Because the young version of me, I mean, all of us, we are all wanting something and striving towards something better, whatever that looks like for each one of us and whatever we're sitting in, it gets better. It does. It gets better.
So of all of this evolution, all of these things that you've become and done, what are you the proudest of?
I am the proudest that I didn't give up. You know, I've had a lot of obstacles come at me. I've had a lot of things that I've endured. I am most proud that I didn't give up. I'm a proud of myself when I go back and I look at all of those achievements and those accolades. I mean, the titles and things don't mean anything per se. They don't hold weight, but the person behind it who pushed through and persevered. I was actually thinking about it this morning. You know, there were times that I've gone through things and people can easily judge or question and it's like, I'm proud of myself because I made it through that moment. I didn't give up. I pushed through that. I'm proud of myself.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, all of your fans, everyone you work with, but you're in control. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think that I am an overcomer. I think that I am more than a survivor. I think that I'm a thriver. I think also that I am someone that I matter. I believe that I'm someone that is a leader. I believe that I am someone that was placed here to influence people positively and impactfully. And I believe that I am a trailblazer. I do.
Right on. I have no doubt. If anyone out there wants to listen to your podcast, reach out, get involved with all of these things that you do, what's the good business? How do they do it?
Very, very simple. Your smile is your weapon. That's my social media handle across everything. Your smile is your weapon. You're going to find my link to my podcast, my books, my speaking, everything. Your smile is your weapon.
I love it. Great energy. What a great story. Thank you so much for taking time out. Best of luck with everything.
Thanks so much, Joe. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thank you.